Oh my gosh, grief is so exhausting. So exhausting. I'm tired. I'm tired all the time. And I'm tired of being tired. Welcome to the Grieving Mom's Guide to Life. My name is Susan Fahidi, and I'm a grieving mom. I am also a grief advocate and mindfulness life coach. Yeah, I'm flippin' tired. I am tired of grieving. Grieving is tiring. Grieving is exhausting. Grieving takes all your energy out of your body and your mind and your soul every single day. And I am tired. It's been 6.5 years since my son Brandon died, and it's been almost 4 years since my daughter Bethany died. And I'm beginning to think that my grief exhaustion has nothing to do with my kids anymore. It's just a suspicion. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a mental health professional. I'm just a grieving mom who's living her life and living her experiences. But I'm starting to think about this, that it may not be about my actual grieving, mourning loss of my children. Maybe this is something else. Maybe this is something more. I'm starting to think that this may be about I'm afraid to let go of my grief. Is that a thing? Is that a thing, that you're afraid to let go of your grief? Because I'm starting to think that that's what it might be for me. I am afraid to let go of my grief because my grief is connected to my kids. And if I let go of my grief, is it the last thing that I have left of them? Is it the last emotional connection that I have to them on this earth? Is my grief? In the toxic positivity world, you see a lot of quotes that say things like, grief is love with nowhere to go. So if I start to release my grief, am I starting to release the love that I have for my children? That seems to be a message that is being sent, isn't it? Because you hear it a lot in varying phrases, but that's the message. That grief is your love for the person that you lost. So if I start to release my grief, am I now going to be releasing my love for my children? And that's a fear. That's a huge fear. So is that why parents hold on to their grief so tightly and so protectively when they've lost their child? Because their grief is their love? I don't know. I don't know if that's the way it is or not. I don't know if anybody knows. But it's exhausting. And if I let go of my grief, will I start to regain some of my energy? Because it's hard. It's so hard to grieve. And it's so tiring to grieve. And it's tiring to be carrying it and holding it all the time. And I always said that, like, there's another saying that is, grief is not the destination, it's a journey. So keep working your way through. But I do believe that I will always grieve my children forever. I use this analogy that grief is like rocks, and I carry these rocks around with me all the time. They're always here. And sometimes I put them in a backpack and I throw them on my back and I move on my journey carrying my grief with me. And my journey is my life, and I carry that with me. Sometimes I'm standing still with these rocks at my feet But these rocks are what's holding me down. These rocks are what is exhausting. The rocks are not my children. The grief are not my children. And I'm starting to believe that I can release my grief and not release my love, because my grief really is not my love with nowhere to go. My love can still go towards them. My love can still go towards them and not have to stop and not have to lose that love because I've released my grief. I don't know. I'm just speculating with this because it is exhausting, and I'm trying to find in my heart and in my mind, I'm trying to find where that makes sense to allow me to release some of this, because it's so heavy and it's so painful. I miss them. I miss them so much. And I grieve them so much. And the last thing I would ever want to do would be to let go of my love for them. But is that the truth? Or is that just part of this new world of toxic positivity? I don't know. Maybe share some of your thoughts in the comments below, because I'd love to hear what your thoughts are about that and have a conversation about it. I gotta go. Love you guys.